Hello guys and girls, it is I, Omni, your favorite binary ninja, coming at you with the second installment in the Let's Hack Sekiro series of videos, where I document all the things I do in order to make a game omnified. The first video showed how I located the player's health and memory. Today we're going to look into the next bit of data I usually disassemble. As you may have guessed from the title, yes, today we are indeed going to reverse engineer the player's own coordinates. Here we are back in Sekiro land. So let's work on getting the player's coordinates. So how do we do this? Well, the first step in order to get the player's coordinates is to murder everything in sight. No, but seriously, we do need to get rid of these guys. Ooh, baby. Yeah. Oh yeah, you like it when I stab you there. So, how do we do this? Well, the coordinates are, just like the health, an unknown value to us. We really don't know where we're standing in terms of the coordinates, unless the game was nice enough to give us the coordinates in the game, which this game, I am quite certain, does not. But even if it did, let's ignore that. So in three-dimensional space, we have three axes. We have the X, Y, Z. Which one might be the easiest to isolate changes being made to? Well, certainly the one that's changing when I go from here to up the stairs. And in most games, that's gonna be the Y-axis. So this is how we're gonna find the coordinates. We're basically going to scan for unknown values, and then we're gonna go up a little bit and say that the value we're looking for has increased, and then up a little bit more, increased, down a little bit more. Very simple. Let's load up our trusty cheat engineer. So when we were looking at the health, it was a bit of a mystery as to what the value type would be. You can only guess at these kinds of things. It ended up actually being in bytes, 4 bytes. For the coordinates, however, it is most certainly going to be floating point. I have seen games where it is a double, but floating point, I'm gonna bet some serious money on this is gonna be what we're looking for. So, we're gonna be looking for unknown initial values, float, first scan. There we go. So we have about 2 billion to look through. Hey, 2 billion. Didn't we have 8 billion the other day? This is nothing. This is easy. It's mincemeat shit. So, we're going to find our coordinates by looking for the Y coordinate. So think of the Y coordinate this way. It'll increase as we go up, it'll decrease as we go down. Let's go up. And we went up. Because we went up, we can do the next scan and look for values that increased. Look at that. Now, let us go down a bit. Okay, I've gone down. Clearly I've gone down. I've gone down the stairs. Decreased value. 2 million. We're getting so close, guys. I kid. Let's go up a little bit more. All right, I went up. Increased value. Hey, let's go up just a tiny, tiny bit more. Like bloop, bloop. Increased value. Hey, 252,000, pretty good. Let's go up a whole bunch more here. Up here, then up here. Increase value. And then let's go all the way down and decrease value. 51,000 we're at. So one thing we can do that we did with the health is we could potentially, while standing here, filter out values that are changing while we stand still. I don't like to do that right away because in some games, the player's coordinates might change just due to their idle animation. In a lot of games, it's not the case, but I'm very, very cautious about filtering out values that are changing while not moving in games. I've been bit pretty hard doing that. Some weird games have screwed me up the butthole when I've done this. So we're just gonna keep on, screwing with our Y coordinate by going up and down. So let's go up some more. And so, how many times do I want to do this? Like, what am I gonna end up with just one result here, like with the health? No. That's not gonna happen. In modern games, the player will have upwards of 400, 800, maybe even 1,000 coordinates just associated with their person, all responsible for different things. We're not gonna narrow this down just to one result. We're probably gonna be looking at anywhere between 400 and 800. Let's move up a bit here. Increase value. Let's go down, but let's end up in a different spot. Somewhere we have never been before, like right here. Decrease value. See, now it's The amount that we're shaving off is getting less and less. Not good. It's going to start to get very slow. Let's go up here, and over here. Increase value. Okay, how about over here? This is definitely a decrease, no? 11,000, that was pretty good. Let's keep going down. I wanna be a little careful here. I don't wanna trigger any crazy events in the game that are gonna result in me dying. 10,000. Let's go down some more. Be a little careful here. Oh God, enemies. No. I will not die, I refuse to die, sir. We've definitely increased our altitude. 9,900. Let's go up some more. And some more. Wow, that cut off quite a bit. So I don't like to filter out values that are changing while the character's standing still, but I don't mind doing it while the game's paused. And I do believe this essentially pauses the game, yes. So I'm actually gonna do ignore value because I did do I don't wanna, I don't know, disclude the any changes that were happening to it that could have been legitimate in between my last scan and me pausing it. And then I'm gonna get rid of all the things that are changing. And there's not very many of those, is there? It looks like we're at 4,890. Maybe switch the menu a bit. No? Bastard. All right. Let's go to the bottom of this little pagoda, or whatever the fuck we're in. Decrease value. 4876. So this is starting to slow down. So we may have, you know, roughly this many that are legitimately associated with the player, and that, you know, change when the player's position changes. So what kind of numbers are we seeing here? Minus 32. This could be where the character actually is in terms of the y-axis. Minus 32. We're probably gonna see some other numbers here as well. Or are we seriously gonna see all minus 32? Okay, there's a few other ones, but minus 32 seems to be the granddaddy of it all. I'm gonna venture that that is the legit y-axis for the player's location. Now, see, there's a bit of variance. We have some minus 32, minus 30s. It could be as simple as, you know, minus 30 is where the sword is. Minus 32 is where the center of the character is. Whatever. We can extrapolate and theorize all we want. But what we are looking for is singular. There is only one value in memory that I care about, and I'll show you how we find it. So let's first narrow down what we have here by restricting it to a range here. So it clearly seems to be anywhere between -40 and -20. It's a very, very conservative and safe estimate. Now I'm making some assumptions here, so I could be way off. Maybe I'm actually at minus 130. There's only one value that's actually set to that. But we'll see, won't we? So we're gonna do a value between -40 and -20. Boom. All right. Now, how do I figure out which one is the actual player's y coordinate? It's very simple. We kind of talked about the player's health in the last video. But what you're seeing here is a bunch of calculated values. There is only one location in memory that holds the source of truth, the data point, the thing that if I write to it will affect the world around me. I'm basically going to add all these to the watch list, and I'm going to find out which one of these, when I change its number, changes where my character is on the y-axis. So if I increase it, it will cause my character to go into the air. You have to be a little careful here because we don't want to kill the character because there's a chance that wherever it's holding his coordinates will then be reallocated to a different place. All right, so let's add all this stuff here. Also, it is when you're making changes to large amounts of memory like this, you can crash the game. Typically, it's less likely to happen if all the values look similar. If you get anything that's really weird, like, you know, something that's in the negative exponent range, 1 × 10⁻² 200, you know, those ones are a little more iffy. Don't screw with those ones. But here we go. So let's see if we can make my character pop up in the air a bit here. First of all, let's see if we even are anywhere close to what we need. Before we change all of them, let's just get some samplings of some different values here. So when I'm up here, it's minus 29, okay. So minus 29 will put me about yay high, where that first stairway ends. So let's set this at minus 29 and see if the character goes up. Look at that. As you can see behind the window there, changing these values caused the player to be popped up into the air. That means we found the fucking Y coordinate. Yay! However, we need to figure out which one out of these 4,800 values is the Y coordinate. So the easiest way is just to go by halfsies. Start at the bottom, go to the middle, highlight all of the ones in between, and then change those to your test value. Up, my character went up. That means it's in the bottom half. So I'm gonna get rid of the top half here. None of these we care about. Let's start from up here now, and we're gonna go from the top to the halfway point. Select them all, change them all to negative 29. Nothing happened. So that means we can get rid of these. We're gonna keep on doing this until we narrow it down to a very small amount. Oh, what was that right there? Was that it? No. I don't see the character actually go up there. It looked like just the camera. So you gotta be careful there. Just to prove it, that happened with these ones highlighted. Let's go down here and highlight the ones at the bottom here. Change these to negative 29. And we can see these ones actually move the character. So you gotta be careful there. Gotta be very careful. Is it this one? Nope. Goodbye. This one? Nope. Goodbye. This is gonna be the last one. Oh God. There it is. That is, my friends, is our Y coordinate for the player. Welcome. All right, this is our Y chord. Very good. As you can see, we have now achieved flight of some form. If this is what flying was, I would not want it. No, thank you. So we found the Y chord, yay. We still need to find the X chord and the Z chord, don't we? Nope, you don't. Once you find the Y chord, you're pretty good to go. I do believe in 99.9% of the games that I've omnified, the X, Y, and Z coordinates are always right next to each other in memory. Probably for a whole bunch of reasons. But we can just imagine that they're typically represented in the form of a struct and float X, float Y, float Z. Pretty simple. So let's browse this memory region at the Y coordinate, and let's change the display type to float. So here's our Y coordinate, yes. And here's our X coordinate, negative 181, and here's our Z coordinate. So let's add this as well, X coordinate and Z. Find the player coordinates is very important for Omnified hacks. A lot of the systems that I've developed need to know about coordinate systems, not only just for the player, but for enemies as well. Any kind of hack that I do that teleports player or enemy, any code that provides a speed hack for the enemies, needs to know about the coordinates, because the coordinates is where we derive and figure out how movement works in the game. There will be another video on that, young Padawan. So we have the coordinates, great. We need to persist them now though. We need to write some code that will latch onto some existing game code that looks at the player's coordinates. It's gonna be sort of similar to how we did with the health. We're going to see what reads these values, and we're going to see if there exists a function in the game code that just reads the player's coordinates, because that makes our life easy. All right. So let's work with the X coordinate here. And by the way, just to prove a thing here, let's change this to negative 171, see if we move in the game. We do. I believe I almost murdered myself. All right. So let's see what accesses the X coordinate of the player. So you can see here we have a number of functions that access the player's X coordinate. Let's just take a look at the most frequently called one first, just because I like big numbers. All right, just like when we were looking for the health, or looking for a place to inject our health code, let's see what addresses this instruction accesses. We want to see if it's just for the player or for other things as well. Fortunately, it's for what seems to be other things or NPCs as well. These are all different coordinates, so this could just be a general creature coordinate pulling function, which is very useful, by the way, but not what we're looking for. Ooh, what do we have here? Do we perhaps have a instruction that is only accessing the player's coordinates? I believe we do. So let's just double check here. I'm very excited. The address to the X coordinate for the player is this very noticeable and unique looking hexadecimal number, and appears to be what that is. Well, fucking A. This is nice. No filtering required. We found some code that appears to just be looking at the player's coordinates. Now, we don't know if this is always going to be the case. We might end up playing the game a little bit more, running into some crazy enemies, and they are getting their coordinates pulled here. Who knows? If breakage happens, we fix. So, this looks good to me. Let's first take a look at the instruction that we're about to hook into. As we can see here, this instruction is essentially loading the coordinates from this place in memory, which is RBX, which is set to the base address of the location structure of the player. Sorry, if you hear anything, my wife is currently raiding in Final Fantasy XIV and having a good old time. Happy wife, happy life. So, it appears that the X coordinate starts at an offset of 80. The Y coordinate is going to be at 84. And of course, the Z coordinate will be at 88. This loads all of those into and stores them into the SSE register XMM0. Very neat, very cool. This is where we're going to grab the player's coordinates from. And let's do Control-Alt-A in order to open up this auto-assembler window. We're going to do a full injection, of course. I love full injections. I love it. Get that populated there. Then we're going to send it through my little process here to make things all neat and purty. This hook will get the player's coordinates. The player chords hook. This is going to be at Sekiro.exe. The address is this. The bytes we're searching for and replacing are this. Alright, very good. The name of the function is get player chords. And the no-op is 2. Very good. This looks great to me. Move it on over here. Make sure we insert that original code that we are essentially replacing. Here we go. This looks good to me. Now that we got this looking good here, we're gonna go to our editor of choice here, actually, and paste it in. Booyaka. Booyaka. Don't ask. Let's make sure we separate the cleanup from the actual injection. Otherwise, the code that we're injecting will just get cleaned up right away. It will look very stupid. Here's the new code here. So clearly we're gonna need to create a pointer that's gonna hold this reverse engineered player coordinate data. So let's allocate that player chords. Make it a symbol, of course. No filtering has to happen here. It just appears to read the player's coordinates. So great. That means right here, we're going to just take the address of RBX and have our pointer point to that. So move player chords, RBX. And there we go. We have it. Of course, let's make sure we remember to clean up after ourselves. How did this get the wrong name here? Should be get player chords with two O's. Wonder how that happened. Anyway, let's save our code and reload our cheat table. That is reloaded. Now let's enable our new code and see if the game crashes. Hey, the game did not crash. You can see our health right there. Let's add pointers for our various coordinates for the player as well. So, player chords, that will be set to the base address of the location structure. The first offset is 80 for the X coordinate. And that's a float. Let's create a location group header for these. Address support, sure, why not? I don't know what this does, but whatever. There you go. We'll put X under there. Next is the Y coordinate. It'll be 84. And then finally, the Z coordinate. 88. And there you go. We have some code that will consistently grab the player's coordinates from memory and set them to some symbols or to some pointers we have defined that we can use in our own code to do whatever the hell we want with. This, along with the health, are examples of very basic types of data that we need in order to omnify the game. To make sure that these are actually the player coordinates, let's change one of them and see our player go wherever we want him to go. Uh-oh, it appears that this didn't actually move my character at all. Uh-oh, looks like that function that we thought was responsible for only returning the player's coordinates, it's probably also returning the coordinates of this asshole right there. Open up our memory view. This is set to our coordinate function location. Let's just take a look. Oh no, yes, now there are two addresses there. All right, well, now we're gonna have to work out a filter here, aren't we? So we're gonna do what we did for the player's health and put on a reverse engineering hat and pull some shit out of our ass. Let's see what's being accessed here, okay. The one that's not being updated is most likely me. So we're looking for BO 180 minus 80, so 100. So, B0 100, okay. Is there anything, any differences in these registered values that scream at me, that say, hey, this is a read being made to the player's coordinates? Well, the easiest thing I see here is that when the player's coordinates are being read, RCX is a non-zero value. Also, R10 is a non-zero value, somewhat consistently. So let's add a filter here if RCX does not equal 0. As you can see, this is just returning the player's coordinates now. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Let's go run by that other NPC here as well. Where'd he go? I want to add a little bit more turbulence to this. So I only see the player being accessed here, even with this new enemy in front of us, with this filter of RCX is not equal to 0. So let's add a filter to our function then, to filter out all the other coordinates. So because we're going to be doing some comparisons here, we need to preserve the conditional flags as they were before entering into our hooked function, injected function, whatever, which I pop up there. So we're going to compare RCX to 0. And if it is equal to 0, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Let's save that. Remove the breakpoint here. We're gonna reload the table to what we just updated it to be. And do this here. All right, this function now has our filter in it. Let's make sure it is indeed the player whose coordinates that we have. Very good. Let's keep on making sure here. There's people in front of me, right? Good. Ooh, lovely. Not lovely. Out of curiosity, what happens if I bump my character up really high? Will this kill me? Yes! Well, that's a fantastic way to end this hacker log. Well, you saw how I got the player's coordinates and how I wrote code to persist them across game sessions and character lives. We have a good starting set of data here, and we're going to be getting ready to actually add some Omnified systems to the game very soon. Patience, though. There is still more to do. I'll see you guys next time on the next installment of Let's Hack Sekiro. Goodbye and good night.